What's good, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Golden 83, and I am here to do a monthly manifestation reading for the sign of Sagittarius. Okay, Sagittarius, you guys are first in the zodiac lineup for group 3. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Remember, you guys, these are general messages, not personal. So take what resonates and pass the rest to the next. Okay. So, of course, by now, you know, new moon energy was yesterday on April 8th. So I'm actually behind getting these out, due to the energy from March. Okay. And so, going with you guys first, since, I kind of am behind on the preliminary readings, if it makes sense. Okay, where I'm on group 2 right now, so a little off kilter from the usual routine, but hopefully this helps you guys out, to get you guys a head start a little bit for the month, before all the other signs. So, you know, apologies up front if you are going to be looking for a placement reading. You could probably refer to maybe the preliminary readings as kind of like a backup in between. If you have a placement in your birth chart that is important to you, that you want to kind of tap into that energy, I would suggest you do that as those readings kind of come out. Okay, maybe some past energy a little bit. Okay, hopefully you're familiar with the monthly manifestations. These are meant to help you pretty much organize your time in a sense of spiritually going by the moon phases, 3 that occur within a month, to focus and organize on what you're trying to obtain. Okay, whether that be materialistic or in a personal growth kind of sense. Okay, just all depends on where you are in your life right now as you watch this. Now, for the month of April, of course, we all know the solar eclipse was yesterday, but one thing we failed to realize is that it was also a new moon as well. Okay, so if you felt like this overcharging energy within you, as I've mentioned before, since the beginning of the year and bringing these readings back, is that the new moon energy, prior to it, you can possibly feel some new ideas or some changes going on within yourself, within personal growth. Okay, and so we had a double kind of a trifecta, really, if you will, of energy yesterday, with the new moon and a total solar eclipse going on at the same time. So a lot of people are probably feeling inspired, motivated, some maybe slightly debilitated. It just all depends on where you are in your life right now in the sense of healing, okay, when it comes to spirituality. All right, so the 8th was the new moon. All right, that invokes balance. Okay, possibly a need for balance in your life somewhere. Okay, whether it be professionally or spiritually, or just personally. All right, as far as boundaries, things like that. All right, now on the 15th is the first quarter moon. Now, new moon energy is about invoking new ideas, creativity, things of that nature. The first quarter moon is your progress report, in the sense of, are you making any progress in whatever it is you are starting anew? Okay, whether it be breaking a bad habit or obtaining something or a personal goal that you're trying to achieve. By the 15th of this month, you should have, you know, made some progress. Now, looking at the number 15, that is actually a Monday. Okay, now I want y'all to really pay attention because of the fact that, and I'm trying to see here, looking at my dates, the 23rd is the full moon, which is your completion for obtaining your goal, okay? Doing and setting yourself at a progress report on all of those days of obtaining and making or achieving your goal. Now, the 15th on a Monday, following right after, a week after that new moon on the 8th, you may be doing some reevaluating, okay? 5, change. 1, following your intuition, okay? So that equals out to 6, which means taking a step back and reevaluating some stuff, okay? So in doing that, you should be closer or find something awry with whatever your goal is and change some things up, okay, before the full moon, which is on the 23rd. Which 3, centering yourself. 2, what is it that you want, not what you don't want, which equals out to 5 yet again, okay? Now, triple 5s coming in here because of the fact that the 8th, I'm going to backtrack a little bit, the 8th was 14 days after the full moon in March, which was on the 25th, which was 7 inner strength, okay? But 14 days in between is 5 yet again, okay? Protecting yourself. Maybe you found yourself setting some boundaries with people or becoming a little bit more distant based off of observations and your intuition, okay? If that's in your personal world, okay? Or professional, all right? For some of you, I'm feeling an urge towards professional, okay? In the sense of maybe wanting to change jobs or possibly part of the general channeled readings. Maybe one of your placements have one of the signs that were mentioned during the channel reading that I just recently did. You can find that on the community post page. In regards to maybe making some changes in personal development to make yourself more marketable, okay? So that may be pertaining to you, but depending upon a sign that's in your placement, in your birth chart, okay? Now, the month of April period, new moon energy on the 8th compels us to follow our intuition to change positions that promote balance, okay? That is the gist of April, okay? Is a month of promoting balance, protecting it because it is the 4th month of the year, okay? So your spirit, angel guides, ancestors, Holy Spirit is looking over you to make sure that everything balances out for you, meaning fair, okay? Everything for you, Sagittarius, feels like it needs to be fair, okay? So you could have Libra somewhere in your birth chart, okay? Or dealing with a Libra for that energy to come up, all right? So all the signs that I mentioned don't have to be necessarily resonate with you. It's just an honorable mention, okay? Now, let's go ahead and get into your reading. I know that was a little bit long-winded, but I'm pretty much giving you guys a lot of information to hold you over until I get to your readings, okay? So you can kind of take this as your primary reading for the month of April, okay, until I get to the preliminaries for you guys, okay? Which something special is coming when it, and pertaining to that, okay? So, but I truly appreciate everyone's patronage. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe so you can be notified the next time I do a reading for your sign, Sagittarius, okay? So, now these readings are for sun, moon, and rising, okay? We're going to start with one from the top, which is in reference to the new moon energy on the 8th. One from the bottom, which is for the first quarter moon on the 15th. And then one directly from the middle, which is in reference to the full moon energy on the 23rd, okay? Again, these are just dates to kind of stick a pin in as far as scheduling for yourself, okay? As far as your personal goals or achievements, okay? Doesn't necessarily mean that things have to happen around or on that. It could be around that day, not specifically on that day, all right? Of course, the 8th has already passed, so, you know, consider this energy that has already passed and that new moon energy, okay? So, what should be the mindset towards your intention or goal, Sagittarius, for the month of April? To start, we have communication is key. Communication is key. New moon in Gemini, okay? So Gemini being what I'm focusing, the sign that I'm focusing on the month pertaining to you guys, all right? You can feel free to look up when and how the new moon in Gemini will affect you. But I am primarily paying attention to communication is key. Seeing things from both sides, okay? Kind of knowing your opposition, Sagittarius, for you as it pertains to professionally, going to your boss or superior, wanting to ask for something in particular, okay? Hopefully you've been around them long enough to know how they think. So before you prepare, let's say your argument or your request or your dissertation, make sure you kind of ask yourself the questions that you think your superior would ask you, okay? And that way you already come with information on why they should select you, okay? So if this is for maybe an opportunity at your job, or a promotion of sorts, a raise, where you may be in competition with others, okay? Or feel as though you may be in competition with others that are gunning for the same thing, you're going to have to stand out from those people, but please make sure it is what you want, okay? Because you are entering into a very deep conversation, okay? Because they surely do have a lot to think about, all right? Not just in regards to you, but all the others that possibly could do the job better than you, okay? So make sure you come with facts, okay? Now, let's move on to the first quarter moon, where the question is being posed, will or have you made any progress towards this intention or goal that you have, Sagittarius, for the month of April? Step out of your comfort zone, Sagittarius. Step out of your comfort zone come the first quarter moon on the 15th, okay? Now, that means do not be afraid if Sagittarius, if you're known to hold your tongue a lot, it's time for you to start stepping up on things, okay? If we're talking about a professional standpoint, let's say you're in a meeting, okay, with your entire team, all right? And something comes up that the superior, you know, brings up that's, you know, problematic, and no one's really stepping up to answer anything. Or maybe they do, and maybe there's something in particular that you do that nobody else does, or something that you've noticed. Step up and speak on it, okay? As far as maybe something you've done as a personal project, if you will, kind of step up and speak out on it, on what you've seen, projected data, if you will. If you do like some form of analysis of some sort, step out, stop holding it in, okay? This will show why you should be at the top of the list for that promotion that you are asking for, okay? If you've kind of spoke in terms of yourself of needing a promotion or a raise, you have not shown enough to those around you to really, you know, consider you, okay? So step out of your comfort zone and start speaking up, all right? Now, let's get into the last phase here, which is the full moon, where you should complete or achieve your goal or be tying up loose ends. All depends on where you are and how well you've been moving within these weeks at a time. Now, realize that the first quarter moon is about, and I'm looking at my calendar, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, is 8 days. The full moon is 8 days from that first quarter moon, okay? So within 8 days, you need to be making some movements to wrap things up, okay? To really seal the deal, if you will, okay? On whatever it is that you are trying to obtain, okay? Don't give anyone any reason to have to continuously, kind of think, okay? Where, action speaks louder than words, okay? Now, the 23rd full moon energy has or is the intention or goal being achieved, okay? Has or is the intention or goal being achieved by the full moon. Surrender to the divine and look, and I'm going to just, bring this up close to you guys. Full moon, okay? Full moon, surrender to the divine, okay? Let it all go, okay? Don't overdo it, okay? Is what I feel is the energy, okay? Don't sit up here and try to schmooze the boss with, like, some muffins or, treating them to lunch and stuff like that. You don't have to do that. Show your skills, okay? Everybody else may do that, but you don't have to, okay? Because in my own personal opinion, sometimes when people do that, that means they don't have much to offer, okay? That's just my personal opinion. Now, if that insults anyone, my bad. But there are certain people out here who do that, okay? So if you get insulted by it because you do that, but you have skill sets too, then I'm not referring to you, okay? I'm referring to people that don't have skill sets, that rely on buying their way in instead of letting their work speak for them. Unfortunately, sometimes in this workforce, that is what happens, okay? Is that people can be bought instead of showing what their knowledge is, okay? Unfortunately, the real is the real, all right? Now, surrender to divine come the 23rd. If your superior has not made a decision yet, but is planning to, you let it go. But keep that momentum of, being very factual, being very informative, really wrapping up on your work, not being behind schedule, things like that, okay? It will benefit you in the long run, all right? Let them think on their own. You don't have to add anything to it, but staying consistent with your work, okay? Now, let's get into the clarifiers here, where we kind of dig into the energy a little bit more behind each one of these phases for you, Sagittarius. Now, I feel like that in itself on that front line is more than enough. But, we don't do things like that around here. We don't just, leave energy behind, okay? Of course, we do have last shuffle. Just wanted to look. The moon and the 3 of Pentacles, okay? Pisces energy. Rebuilding some things, all right? Now, Sagittarius, you may hide something from your coworkers, or this could be for another line of Sagittarius, sun, moon, and rising, in regards to maybe hiding your true feelings about something within your personal world, all right? But I think it's more so professional. Maybe you're working on a project or a team project, and you might try and hide a few things that because maybe you're feeling like people are trying to pick or pluck you for information and then pass it off as their own, okay? So beware of that. Kind of feel that energy. Maybe that is what you deal with in your work environment. So kind of be mindful of how much you do share in team environments, but don't be so off-putting that they notice it, okay? Let some people be able to figure things out on their own, okay? If you're always figuring it out for them, you know, you're doing a disservice to yourself, okay? I believe in empowering people to the point where they know or figure it out on their own. They have to sometime. You can't always be handling everything for everybody, because then how can they claim that they did any work when you had to do the majority of it, okay? So just think of that, all right, as you're in this situation. 1 from the top for the new moon energy, 1 from the bottom for the first quarter moon energy, and then 1 energetically from the middle and I think I'm gonna go here for the full moon energy. And of course, we will be looking at the bottom of the deck to see what the overall outcome is, okay, of this energy. All right, so let's see what's getting paired with this new moon energy of communication is key. We have the 9 of Wands, okay, 9 of Wands. Communication is key. Now, in this instance, I feel like it's very clear cut and dry of what we were just talking about. Block out anybody from knowing anything that you and your superior talk about, okay? You may have a lot of conversations, okay, with your boss, all right, in regards to what it is that you want, all right? Also be mindful of kind of ratting people out in a way, okay, in the office, all right? If your boss is kind of wanting to dig in information about like maybe personal things about people on the job, avoid it, okay? Try to avoid it as much as possible, because maybe you've done this in the past and it's done nothing but bite you in the ass, okay? So keep it 100% professional, okay, at all costs when it comes to communication. So in 2 ways, you have to block out certain information or certain communication, all right? It is none of your coworkers' business on what you talk about with your superior. Let's say you're in the office with them and, oh, you were in the office a long time with Bill, and what were you guys talking about? Well, nothing much, just, you know, politics as usual, okay? That's all they need to know. They don't need to know exactly what it is that you were discussing, okay? And vice versa. If Bill asks you about what Terry does on her lunch break, that's none of your concern. That's her lunch break, okay? So you got to kind of be mindful, all right, of what communication to share, and finesse it in a way that doesn't make you seem kind of, you know, stuck up or something, okay? But you can do it and finesse it in a way that is understandable, all right? And only because this has happened in your past, learn from it, okay? Now, let's get into the first quarter moon energy. Step out of your comfort zone is being clarified by the Queen of Pentacles, okay? Step out of your comfort zone, Queen of Pentacles, okay? Now, we may start veering off into a separate set of Sagittarius with the sun, moon, and rising, okay? This may also kind of include a Venus placement of Sagittarius, all right? Maybe you're a little bit tight when it comes to your finances for a reason, okay? Maybe you're not used to maybe doing some things for yourself. And so step out of your comfort zone and kind of do a little splurging for yourself, okay? you might have, there might be something in particular that you actually do need, that you need to go ahead and purchase. You've been putting it off. And I think right about now is probably at the best price that you're going to get it. So go ahead and buy it. Okay. And stop, you know, holding on to the purse strings. You'll get it back 10 times fold. Okay. But hopefully it hasn't already been sold by the time you go for it. Okay. And this doesn't seem like a very small purchase. It seems rather large. So, hopefully you can find something, you know, from like similar to it. But don't wait on it. Okay. Step out of your comfort zone when it comes to that. Okay. I'm not going to say what it is in particular, but of course we can all think of large purchases, and stop talking to people about it. Okay. Revisiting this, stop talking to people about it. Sagittarius placement, whoever you are, stop talking to people about what you want to do. Okay. If it's about getting a car, people will be all up in your business about what you're doing. If you think about that commercial, I forget which one it is, but where the chick is like looking to buy a car and they're like, oh, can you even afford this? You got family and everything all up in your business. Somebody trying to get you a hoopty for like $500. You don't need all of that pressure, okay? So start blocking out people when it comes to certain communications about things that you're buying in your life, because everybody is probably going to feel like they're your financial advisor, your bank, all of that. Okay. People are counting your pockets who don't need to. Okay. Only you need to. Okay. You're in this Queen of Pentacles for a reason, because you are very smart with your money. Okay. But in this instance, there is something in particular that is really your speed. You don't think it is, but it will be. Okay. Just have to find it at the right price. Okay. That's for another set of Sagittarius. Hope that helps. All right. Now, let's get into this full moon energy of surrender to the divine. And what did I say about fairness? Here we go with Libra energy with the Justice card. Okay, coming out. Surrender to divine by the full moon on the 23rd comes out with justice. Okay. Fairness. Okay. And that is what you need from those who are around you. Professionally, you need someone who's in that seat, who's going to be fair. Okay. Now, for some of you, it could be a situation of you taking that particular boss's place. Okay. And so whoever is over that decision, hopefully is fair. And definitely takes into consideration what you put in to that organization. Okay. For the person who's trying to purchase something, definitely surrender to divine. They got your back. Again, you will be very pleasantly surprised about what happens or what you receive after, to be able to continue to afford particular things. Okay. You may have to do a little bit of a sacrifice in order to get something that is definitely needed, while also receiving more to compensate for it. Okay. So surrender to the divine. You got this, and so do they. Okay. Your ancestors, God has your back. Okay. Now let's go ahead and get into the making magic here. Where we ask the question for Sagittarius: what is the message of support to achieve or manifest your goal? Okay, what is the message of support to achieve or manifest your goal? I heard 2 to 4 messages for you guys. We're just going to see what happens. I'm just going to lightly shuffle here before I cut the deck. And I'm feeling and hearing 4, okay? 4 and maybe 1 more, okay? It just all depends on what happens once we get these messages out, all right? We're going to pull from the bottom after I cut, all right? I'm going to stop there. Nothing jumped out, so nothing to take pre-shuffle or during the shuffle. Okay. Oh, one thing I forgot to do before we get into that, forgot to look at the overall outcome at the bottom of the deck. Okay. So at the bottom of the deck for you guys in regards to this energy here, the overall outcome is 7 of Pentacles. Okay. 7 of Pentacles. You're going to have to wait. Okay. You're waiting on something to happen so you can reap the benefits. Okay. You've had some history. Okay. For those of you who are making a large purchase, hopefully, as far as if you're thinking about your credit, that you've been working on very well. Okay. You may have a few dings here and there. You might want to run back through those and get rid of them. Okay. I know for myself, I had like apartment judgments. I took care of those a long time ago. And little things like that make a difference. Okay. For others of you, it could just be a situation of needing more credit. Okay. And waiting for it to kind of build your credit score up. Okay. Let's say if you just got a credit card or something, you're going to have to wait about maybe like 6 months before you really can see a difference. Okay. Hopefully you use some kind of credit, free credit report, like Credit Karma, not, not sponsored by them at all, but just, just suggestion. Self, there's plenty of them on there, that are out here now. And so just doing that and finding ways to kind of build your credit without causing a hard review on your credit report would be helpful for you. Okay. Now, others of you, as far as professionally, you already know you've put in probably maybe a lot of time with your organization. And so hopefully that will be taken into consideration. Okay. Think of all those positive things in order for you to get positive results. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and get into these messages, starting with the first one at the bottom. Breaking bad habits. Okay. Breaking bad habits. Now, if any of you on this reading, you've made it this far, this may be the part of your reading that may help you. Okay. Or resonate with you the most. All right. As we get into your present and higher self energy. Okay. Breaking bad habits, self-acceptance, excellent mental health, and letting go of vices. Okay. Letting go of vices. Like I said, you should be making some kind of progress, a need for balance this month with that solar eclipse and new moon on the same day. Okay. So you are breaking those habits. Again, it takes 21 days to create a good habit. It also takes 21 days to break one. All right. As long as you are diligent. Let's see what the next message is. I win 3 rays of light. Okay. I win 3 rays of light. This one has been very popular among these readings since I started in January. Balancing male and female energies, peace and harmony. Okay. That is what Spirit is calling for you to do. Okay. Have peace and harmony within yourself so that way you can be the best version of yourself. Okay. This year is all about balance too, not just in the month of April. Okay. Equal up 2024 and it equals out to 8. Okay. So let's see what the next message is underneath that. One enchanted evening. Okay. One enchanted evening, which says the perfect night. Okay. Now, I think that I'm going to equate to the solar eclipse last night. Okay. A lot of good energy was spread during that solar eclipse and new moon energy on top of it. So hopefully that continues forward and not just for one night. Okay. For my spiritualists. Okay. Are we, let's see. I think that's it. Spirit was calling for 4, but we're going to stop there. Okay. Because it's not going to really mesh with you guys as much. So 2 to 4 turned into 3. Okay. Centering. Okay. So let's get into your present energy. All right. What is the energy of the present self for Sagittarius? Okay. What is the present energy for Sagittarius? Okay. This is where you are presently in your feelings, in your world right now, Sagittarius. I'm going to do one more. And then we'll cut. And then let's go to the bottom of the deck, and then we'll go into the book. You have motion, air, okay? Motion, air, okay? We have horses here that are kind of on a stampede, if you will, kind of smoke and dust, but it really feels like they're actually within the air, okay, in the clouds. Land is below, okay, and almost like this air balloon at the very bottom that I've noticed really for the first time. Number here is 22, okay, 22, which equals out to 4. Here we are in the 4th month, okay. Double time, focus on what it is that you truly want, okay? For those professionally, do you really want, like I said at the beginning, do you really want to be at this job, okay? Where do you see yourself in 3 years from now or 5 years from now, okay? Definitely might want to check out that channeled reading, okay? And you can fast forward kind of towards the end is where we talk about professionalism, okay, as far as professional development, okay? But definitely the time speaks to with these horses kind of charging, and they're all kind of white but in different stances, okay? And so it's time to make a move of some sort, okay? So let's go into the book so we can see what your message is, some additional messages. And so it says, this is, of course, air energy. Motion, be flexible yet grounded. Allow yourself free thought. Move and choose. Find your freedom. Use your voice resourcefully. Stand up for what you believe in. Be mindful of the way you communicate. All the things we spoke on at the beginning of this reading, okay? This is just your confirmation, okay? The element of air has always been associated with movement and with the higher spirit. It is a cleansing element that enables us to fly free and allow our minds to travel. Air is associated with all breath, breathing, the lungs, the voice, music, winds, and storms. It is the element of communication. At its most destructive, air is disconnected, chaotic, undisciplined, and untethered. While we consider a storm after a long drought to be cleansing and nourishing, an intensive storm such as a hurricane can be wildly destructive. The word airhead normally refers to someone who doesn't consider things much and who just flits around from one thing to another willy-nilly, okay? Did you do that in your past, Sagittarius, with jobs? Did you flit around from one to the other, not really grounding yourself, okay? Finding your own space and healthy motion is important, and finding your own breath of fresh air will enable you to see things differently and to start anew, okay? So it is time for you to learn from those past lessons, Sagittarius, and move forward in a more grounded path, meaning maturity, okay? Again, I'm feeling the energy of Aquarius possibly in your birth chart somewhere, okay? Because Aquarius, I think, was definitely named in the honorable mention signs of that channeled reading, okay? So you definitely could probably benefit from that. All right. So now we are going to ask the question of what is the potential energy for the higher self of Sagittarius. To wrap up your reading, you guys are now, I guess, can say an extended, but definitely some much needed messages. Okay. So cutting the deck here, and we're going to go to the very bottom of the deck to see what is going on with your higher self. And it's the law of harmony. Okay, new energy alert. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe so you can get notified the next time I do a reading for your sign. Okay, dissolve all discordance and chaos. Dissolve all discordance and chaos. Okay, we have this man here, and he seems to be split. You know, it almost looks like twins, but I'm going to say this is one man in two separate forms of himself. Okay, trying to decipher between chaos and discordance. Okay, I almost can see an energy in a way behind one side that could be chaotic, but both of their eyes are, both of the versions of himself, eyes are closed and kind of like cherry blossoms kind of floating around, mountains behind, and trees. Okay, trees are supposed to promote purity, of course. As we know, it helps clear the oxygen in the air. You know, if you like science in a way, and botany. Okay, but we're gonna head to the book. I just love this imagery. Okay, so law of harmony. Is on page 69, in which I feel like if we break that down, 6, reevaluating some things and a sense of a completion of a phase of your life, Sagittarius, that needs to wrap up. Okay, which almost gives me the vibe of the World card. Okay, some form of completion. Okay, so there, and get your minds out of the gutter. Okay, nonetheless, all right, there is divine order to this universe. The extent to which you create harmony is the degree to which you will experience being in your divinity. Drawing this card, your higher self desires to end emotional interbellation. Okay, any discord between you and another in your life may be coming to a close. When you commit to inner peace, you will have peaceful relationships. This message could also mean a benevolent relationship with food, your body, or with your physicality. The universe is guiding you towards a harmonious life. Okay, thus the Breaking Bad habits. Okay, so any of you that are trying to, change yourself in terms of, being more healthy, it's time to break those bad habits, as it could equate to just, more movement, things of that nature. Okay, do you emotionally eat? Okay, it's something that you need to understand about yourself. What is that app? Noom, I believe, helps in a psychological way when it comes to food. All right. I'm a Taurus. I can't really give you no advice on that. That might have to be a separate video because your girl love food over here. Okay. But I be moving though. Okay. I have a little stepper in my house. And so I really intermittent fast. I barely eat a lot. I may eat 1 or 2 meals a day. And I definitely can tell my stomach is shrinking because I can't eat like I used to. Okay. So take full responsibility for all of your relationships. Make any amends that are necessary. This includes apologizing and forgiving yourself, okay? Now, that might be a totally separate video that I might have to tap on in regards to that and having harmony and how to let things go. I'll kind of, you know, stick a pin in that for another video, all right? So with that being said, Sagittarius, you guys had a very full reading for the month of March. Sorry, not March, of April, okay? If you want, go back and look at some of your old energy, okay? And come back to this one, all right? Would truly appreciate it if you do, and truly appreciate everyone's patronage. I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.